Alright, last time we were just starting verse 14 of chapter 6 of Revelations when the storage space on the video recorder decided to reach capacity. So, beginning again, verse 14 of chapter 6. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. Now the word depart here is to separate from, and is only used one other time with Barnabas and Paul when they separated from each other in Acts 15 verse 39. I'm not sure what will happen to the heavens, but they will be separated more than they are now from us. We see also two other events, one that heaven is rolled up as a scroll and that everything is moved from their places. We will get the privilege later of seeing what is going on in earth during this event later, and we'll look at it then for everything moving out of their place. The heavens being rolled up as a scroll, however, I also found in Hebrews 1:12 where it says, and this is starting in verse 10, "And thou, Lord, in the beginning hast laid the foundation of the earth, and the heavens are the works of thine hand. They shall perish, but thou remainest, and they shall wax old as doth a garment. And as a vesture shalt thou fold them up, and they shall be changed, but thou art the same, and thy years shall not fail." This is the Lord doing exactly what Hebrews says he is able to do. In Revelations it says it will be rolled up as a scroll. Here it talks about folding them up like a vesture, but it is still the same word. It was just, for whatever reason, in the KJV translated two different ways. Verse 15 says, "And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains." Now the kings is the rulers, and earth again is the word for region. Great men are chief advisors or nobles. The chief captains in Greek specifies that they are a commander of 1,000 men, or a chiliarch. The rich men are those fully funded, which shows again that the poverty of the fourth seal will not affect everyone. You know, there's that saying that the rich get rich and the poor get poorer. Well, that saying's still going to be true, it seems. Go figure. The mighty man is an odd word that has a lot of potential meanings, though. It can be strong physically, it can be vehement, it can be sure, or it could be powerful. So what type of person exactly this refers to is anyone's guess. The word for bondman is slave, showing that there is probably still going to be slavery going on, and we know that slavery has been ongoing for thousands of years, and it still occurs today in different regions, though we may not see it the same, and we may not think of it as the same or publicize it the same. That's why he goes on and says the free man, which is everyone else not included in the prior mentioned categories. They will hide themselves in caves and among the rocks of the mountains. Looking back again, if these were nuclear weapons, then caves and rocks or cliffs would do really no good. If they were bunkers that John didn't know how to describe, they wouldn't have been able to. That wouldn't have been able to be what they would have asked for in verse 16 to happen. Because in verse 16 and 17 it says, "And said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne." If these were bunkers, like we would think of with man-made, it wouldn't make sense for them to fall in and hide us. That would be a natural occurrence from a cave-in. But continuing with 16 and 17, "And hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb, for the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand?" Now there's a few really, really great things in here, and I'm hoping my voice will held out long enough to be able to say all this. Here these people cry out to their surroundings to hide them from the face of the one on the throne. We'll see in Revelations 11 that there are witnesses proclaiming God. So it will be no surprise that the unbelievers at this point will realize what's going on. They are not calling out here to the Antichrist upon the throne as seen, because they immediately say, "and from the wrath of the Lamb." They realize that the Antichrist was false and that earthly judgment is upon them. And I specify earthly at this point because we, and perhaps they, when they are told about this more from these witnesses that we'll see later, we know, and maybe they will, that there is a spiritual judgment after this. Now, if you'll recall, there is a theory that because of this verse, the throne in chapter 4 is sitting in outer space, and it's visible from here. I personally don't agree with it because the souls in the previous seal, the fifth one that we just saw, and the imagery of the lake and the crystal around the throne. It seems more likely that these people know the one on the throne because of the witnesses, and those people around them that they have been persecuting more so than by seeing this throne just hovering out in outer space. Now what gets interesting though is the next thing they say. For the great day of his does not use the word oughten, or sorry, it does use the word oughten, which can be his, but the problem is the way the word is written, it is written in plural form. So we have the great day of their. I know some people talk about the Trinity, and there are different beliefs there, but if you really want a way to show the Trinity, here is an instance where even unbelievers are acknowledging God and Jesus as a plural, singular entity. They say from the one on the throne, the Lamb, and all, and there, all in the same sentence. Now, for another instance where there's going to be some disagreement, and that is, the great day of their wrath is come. The way the aorist is used for is come turns it into has come. The Greek reads, for has come the day great of the wrath of them. Now, I've heard my personal pastor preach that this is not a past action because for God, who sees everything in time at once, it has already of a certainty passed through, even though it is still coming. I respectfully have to disagree with that because of another thing that I was taught, and that is look at who is speaking. And here it is not God saying it, but rather mankind. For mankind, this is not of a certainty to come, and so since they say it has come, it makes it either present or past in my understanding. I will also say, though, that it does not change what I believe, does not contradict post-tribulation thoughts as it may seem at first. Because of this, I have begun delving into a question posed by another, and I'll share what I found on that. And the question was along this line. The vials are wrath. We know that. It says that they are the end of his wrath, though, in Revelation 15:1. So where is the start? If the trumpets are judgment, wouldn't that make them part of the wrath as well? Well, I have always and still believe that Christians will be raptured at the seventh trumpet, and we'll see some evidence for that. That would create a contradiction, though, right? And so I began to look up what is the wrath and what does the Bible say about Christians concerning it.